Football. Let's do it. Conference game recap and thoughts. Let's start with the Bucks. Obviously, Tom Brady, the GOAT, best quarterback of all time, best player of all time, sports history, in my opinion. We'll get into that later. But Tom Brady, 3 picks, 3 touchdowns, right?
Yeah.
Was a little shaky near the end.
Fantastic
but,
first
yeah,
half.
Fantastic, exactly. But they pulled away with the win. Aaron Rodgers falls short of the Super Bowl again. What are your thoughts?
Obviously, Brady's the GOAT. I think Brady's the greatest American athlete of all time.
Yes, sir.
He's just fantastic. 43 years old, 40 touchdown passes this year, going to his 10th Super Bowl. Could very easily win his 7th Super Bowl. It's just amazing. I mean, the thing to me that stands out is his main rival throughout his whole career, Peyton Manning, retired 5 years ago.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
5 years ago.
It doesn't make
It's
sense.
It's amazing. He's been to 3 or 4 Super Bowls since he retired.
My
It's incredible to me.
And I was looking at the stats before the game, and if you look at them blindly, you could almost think that Brady had a better year than Mahomes.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think he did have a better year than Mahomes.
I kept on saying in the offseason, I was like, just imagine Brady, like, he was actually the biggest problem, like a lot of people said, and I agreed too, was that he didn't have the weapons. But a lot of people were like, he's falling off. It's not. He's just getting older. I still thought it was the weapons. I was like, imagine he goes out, throws 35 touchdowns, and they get... He threw like 40, like, combined, over 40. Yeah. Like he just balled out, and, like, every expectation, like, through the roof. Like, this guy just doesn't lose. And then, but my favorite stat, which is just mind-blowing, like, this is the stat you're going to look at when you look at the history of quarterbacks. It's going to be Tom Brady goes to the NFC and in his first year wins an NFC championship title. Rodgers and Breeze both have one NFC championship title. And they've been in that conference for what? 10, 15 years.
Plus.
And these are guys that everyone is considering at least top 10, top 5 quarterbacks of all time, Rodgers and Breeze. And Brady went in and in 1 year did it. And I think I think he's coming back next year. I think he's going to make the championship again. I don't know if he'll go to the Super Bowl. Obviously way too early to tell, but like if he goes 2 years in there, 2 Super Bowl appearances from the NFC side, how can you even debate like anything about it? Like you can't just like
I don't even think there is a debate right now.
There's no debate.
No, absolutely not.
There's no way.
I think the only concern you have to have if you are the Bucks is will Chris Godwin be playing on your team next year? Yeah,
I agree. There's also one thing that I like. Personally, it's too early to tell, but I don't think Godwin's gonna return. They just have a lot of guys. You know, it's a.
Well, I think they can afford to lose Godwin.
Yeah, exactly, exactly, and especially like I don't know what the whole AB situation is like, but knowing his connection with Brady, I'm sure they're gonna sign him back.
He'll definitely stay.
Yeah. But then also
Scotty Miller in there.
Tyler Johnson, the receiver rookie. He's got great hands. He can't run, but he's got great hands, pretty good route running. He's a guy that they wanted, Brady said, he wants to step into another big role. Even Rojo, playoff Leonard Fournette has been great, but Rojo has been a beast. You get him in there, he'll break off for like a 30-yard run. That's what they need. That's what in New England they really missed. No running back had the explosiveness to just boom, and then right into the play action. That's how Brady destroys defenses.
One of the things that stands out to me about Brady this year was it wasn't just a regular season. It wasn't a normal season.
Not
it was
at all.
A pandemic season, and coming to a new team, fitting into a new team as a quarterback is
culture,
an extremely hard thing to do.
Yeah, it's a different culture.
He brought a completely new culture to that team, and to me, that's just so telling of his greatness.
Right. With zero offseason, with zero minicamp, zero preseason. He went into a game 1 maybe throwing passes to these guys for 3 weeks.
Yeah, and I don't know if you guys saw, but his family actually got affected by COVID, and early in the year, his father was in the hospital for 3 weeks, I believe, fighting COVID. They said it was a matter of life or death. Thank God he's healthy, he's safe now. But like that's if your father's in the hospital with COVID, your mom, who's I think battled cancer before, I think she's
while he won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, while he won the Super Bowl in the past, I think the Rams year. But like that's a huge like how could he do it while he's worrying about that? And that might be why early in the year he had some troubles. They're the hottest team in the league for 6 weeks now, maybe. So that could have definitely played a role. So let's get into the Bills-Chiefs. What do you guys think? I mean,
I think if you're looking at it from the Chiefs side, you're saying, yeah, this is where we expected to be at the beginning of the year. If you're looking at it from the Bills side, you're saying, holy shit, we have a studded quarterback, we have a studded wide receiver, this young defense, which is the most important part. They're young, they're playing in big games, and they're executing in big games, even though it didn't really seem like it in the Chiefs game. But who the fuck is going to stop the Chiefs?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you have to be in such a good position if you are a Bills fan. I think they're missing one more piece and a little bit more experience, and they're chilling.
Yeah. Well, I think that they obviously have a great future. I think that they're going to be second fiddle to the Chiefs in the AFC for the next decade while those two quarterbacks are there. They're building a great team. Allen just took such a big step this year. He might be the most developed quarterback from draft day to where he is now.
Biggest jump ever. Yeah, you're right.
He couldn't hit a receiver that was open by 10 yards.
Yeah, they worked
came out of the draft.
They worked on his fundamentals.
Buffalo has done such a fantastic job developing him.
And it goes right back to their coaching staff. That's been like I said it 3 years ago. Sean McDermott, when he came in, he built the culture up first, then the defense. If you don't remember, last year their defense might have been even better than it was this year. I think it was better.
And more turnovers.
Definitely more turnovers. This year they took a little bit of a step back turnover wise. Overall they were still good. But like Josh Allen takes that next step, you see where the team can go. Plus, all doing this with no run game. Literally no run game. Maybe the worst run game.
Josh Allen was the run game.
Josh Allen was the run game.
With under 500 yards on the season, he's their leading rusher.
Exactly. And Zach Moss, who's promising, I like him a lot, the rookie, but still, like, you go in there and you get a guy, Zach Moss, Singletary's good too, but you just don't have a run game. Maybe it's the O-line, maybe it's just the motto of the offense, or you just like Josh Allen, taking over the offense, doing the run game, doing the pass game. But still, like, you build the run game maybe next year. Maybe you get him a tight end. I know Dawson Knox has been a playmaker, but a guy that like Kyle Rudolph in there maybe brings it up a lot. Hunter Henry, Zach Ertz. There's a lot of guys out there you can get that'll bring this team to the next level. They're going to be a team to watch.
They do feel like they need a second guy for Stephon to work.
Yeah, I agree. I think they hoped John Brown was that, but he was hurt for most of the year.
And Cole Beasley had
great year.
Broken
great
fibula.
year. Yeah, and
he played
great
with a
year
broken
too.
fibula.
I mean, Cole Beasley's definitely old. You're going to have to replace him, but I think that's a guy who you can I wouldn't want to say very easily replace, but he can be replaced.
There's slot receivers out there. I mean, maybe they make a splash. Maybe they want to go out and they get Chris Godwin, and then they have a slot guy like Godwin to pair up, and then even John Brown on the end. You have two deep threats, and then Godwin, who's a deep threat, and a slot. You could really work around.
There are a lot of very good wide receiver free agents this year.
There are a lot. Galladay.
And even in the draft, you look. This is such a deep wide receiver class too, especially with guys opting out.
The last 2 years, really.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, they could make a run. And honestly, I'm a huge Patriots fan. By the way, I felt like I should have mentioned that. But like, you got to kind of feel for the Bills. I mean, they went to the Super Bowl in the past 4 years in a row, lost 4 years in a row. Haven't had any luck in the past couple of years in the playoffs. But it's a team that's trending upwards. Bills Mafia is hilarious. You have to root them on at least a little bit.
They're a very, very likable,
very likable
fan base, very likable team.
Yeah. So they will cover the Chiefs a little bit. Thoughts on the Chiefs there? You just expect it. You have Mahomes, you have Reed, the defense. Tyrann Mathieu is just a playmaker. You have the guys rushing. Chris Jones, Frank Clark. You got a pretty solid team defensively, and offensively you just have a bunch of track stars. Tyreek Hill. Fastest guy in the world.
Travis Kelce, easily the best.
Mecole Hardman.
Travis Kelce is easily the best.
Kelce might be the best, and we could get into this if we want.
He might be the best
weapon. He might be the best weapon in the league.
Absolutely.
He's just a monster, and he also does it blocking. Like the big Gronk. One of the big things of his career was, and a lot of this year too, and later in his career, he can't run too much. He's injury prone, But what they stick him in there and people are like, oh, he has one catch on the day. He's not doing anything. Yeah, but are you watching? He's blocking in and out every single play, and he's creating holes for the run game, block game. Like, I think Kelsey brings that, and he brings just as solid of a receiving threat as Gronk once was. Maybe in the deep game, he's not as spectacular catch as Gronk was at his peak, but I think he makes it up for having these 11 catch games, which Gronk
absolutely.
very few.
He's much more Tony Gonzalez, Shannon Sharp than a Rob Gronkowski type.
Yes, I agree with that.
But the thing that stands out to me about the Chiefs is you look at the great offenses in NFL history, the 2013 Broncos, 07 Patriots, whatever team you want to look at, none of them have felt as unstoppable as the Chiefs had the last 3 years. It's unbelievable.
You just know. I mean, I think we'd all feel comfortable saying 45 seconds left. Mahomes gets it with at least 1 or 2 timeouts at their own 20.
Yeah, they're going to score.
It's just whether or not they score with time left. That's the question.
I just think it's the perfect storm. They have the best play caller, the best quarterback, the best weapons, and they're playing in the most pass-friendly era ever in football.
And not to go with 2 very good running backs in their backfield for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Exactly. And I mean, this is a team that had Kareem Hunt, who's a filthy running back, top 10 probably. And he has the whole domestic violence issue, abuse. But they release him, and now the Browns obviously have him.
And now the Browns have formed the best running back.
So it just shows you if they kept Kareem Hunt and they ate a 2-year suspension and then kept him on the roster, he comes back. What would this offense be? Like, this guy would be the limit. Like, so let's get into Super Bowl. All right. Mahomes, Brady. My opinion, this might be the best quarterback matchup Super Bowl in NFL history, purely because it seems like I saw a meme. It seems like it's Yoda versus Baby Yoda. Brady, Mahomes, 2 legends, 2 Hall of Famers. I think you could say it already. What do you think? I mean, early predictions.
I mean, if the Chiefs and Bucks didn't play this year, I would say the Chiefs, and I would say the Chiefs handily. But I don't think Tom Brady loses twice, and I don't think Tom Brady would lose twice in a big game situation as well. So by that logic, I would say that the Bucks are going to win, and I'd maybe give the Bucks like a 55-60% chance in this game. But I know the Chiefs are just going to come after them, and it's going to be a high-scoring game. Both teams are going to have to put up more than 35 points. There was one stat I saw where in order to beat Patrick Mahomes in the NFL, you have to put up at least 36 points.
Yeah.
Which is incredible.
Yeah, I mean it just shows you where the NFL is going. It's already here. It's an offensive league. This is probably the first Super Bowl in a while where it's offense prowess versus another offensive dominated team. Both like pretty decent, decent defenses that are play. Like the biggest thing is the Bucks might not be a great defense, but they are playmakers.
And
like
the Chiefs make plays.
Chiefs make plays too. Tyrann, these guys can ball. So like whether or not it's great defense versus great defense, it's playmaking defense versus playmaking defense, and it's both. With Brady, obviously, he's up there in age. He turns it over more than he's ever turned it over. Not too much, but he still does more than he's ever done. So like, there's gonna be turnovers. I think there's gonna be back and forth. I don't think the Bucks are gonna get stepped on. I don't think they're gonna go in there and just get dominated. I think it'll be a close game. We're just gonna do an overview today because we still have another week, 2 weeks. And we'll do a more in-depth overview, but we'll just touch on it like a little bit more. What do you think?
It's a really weird game to me because I could honestly, I'm not trying to hedge my bets here, but I could really see it going either way. To me, it's really a coin flip, but to me, it's you see what happened last year's Super Bowl with the 49ers containing Mahomes the way that they did early. I think if the Bucks can replicate that, I think Brady will make the plays that Garoppolo couldn't, and I think they'll finish off the Chiefs and win the Super Bowl.
100%.